You know, I never liked Western entertainment industry. When I first saw the moving pictures on a big screen, I was very impressed by that, and I think that in the West, people stopped making good films somewhere after World War II. Films stopped being interesting and became a banal chewing gum, possibly because they were made faster. Animation in the civilized part of the world was better in many ways because back then, people who done it actually gave a shit about what they're doing. I know it's a very weak criticism, but still, this is the big difference and virtue of animation to me. It doesn't take a lot of effort to make a good movie. To make a good animation, you have to actually try. But like everything in this world, the older you get, the more your view on things gets corrupted. Oliver and Elias, the old entrepreneurs, became multimedia giants and ossified. The golden age of comics was replaced by Comic-Con censorship, and William Joseph and Quimby died. Hanna-Barbera was devoured, and with them the MGM animation studio was killed. This all has a logical economic explanation, but I prefer to name things in a simpler terms. Bastards. Every single one of them. And that's why I skipped most of the popular 90s Cartoon Network, Jetix and other cartoons, cause one, my anger was that strong, and second, I was busy shooting black communists and Albanians, there was no time for cartoons. So when they showed me the Avatar, I wasn't expecting anything good out of it. And was pleasantly surprised. Avatar: The Legend of Aang is a pretty good show with an interesting world and well-written characters that don't make you wanna gut someone, and perhaps the main plus of the show, it treated itself seriously and from the start gave the characters missions that as a result changed them or their personalities. Aang, Katara, Sokka, Zuko, Toph, Azula and the rest, they weren't stationary, they were changing every season, were better or worse, and that's not a thing every anime can do. Of course, the show has its weak spots. For example, for a so-called pacifist, Aang clearly killed not one person with his airbending, while our main villain Ozai is much more boring compared to how he was portrayed previously, and as a whole his plan was too predictable and idealistic. Are people really that stupid to not realize that the giant flaming thing in the sky covering the sun can boost firebenders? Why does Ozai think that he can in best one and worst few days annihilate an entire continent of people that can bunker underground? Our nomads were destroyed because they lived on small islands in isolated temples. It's not that hard. If there is something I can criticize, it's the music of the show, and not in the sense that it's bad, but in the sense that it's pretty forgettable. I've watched the last episode like half an hour ago, and I don't remember if there was any music at all except for the opening sequence. And also what wasn't explained is, who was that mind-blowing Iron Man? Seriously, who the fuck is he? And that's about it. To tell you more about this show would be me retelling every episode of it, and even with that, it wouldn't do much. The plot is generally shown in the first episode, or in the description of wherever you're watching it, and it doesn't deviate from that the entirety of 3-4 books. If for some reason you still haven't watched it, then I recommend you doing so. Oh, and yeah, do I think that giant turtles that can bend energy is a lazy move from the writers? Yeah, but you have to agree with me that it looked pretty. I know that the authors made a continuation of the Avatar not so long ago with new Master of the Elements, and this time I'll make an exception and watch it. Let's hope it doesn't disappoint me.